Hey guys, today we have a tier list for Saint Seiya EX, and we'll just dive right into it. So first off, we got Awakened Shiryu going to SS tier. Pretty decent damage dealer while also having some utility by stunning enemies with lots of knockdowns. He also buffs his damage reduction, gets immunity to damage plus an extra attack, and gets one massive attack after he dies. Taurus Aldebaran is going to SS tier. He's just a straight tank. He pushes enemies away with his basic attack, can down enemies, gives himself a huge damage reduction buff with immunity to control effects and buffs his other skills as well, and he gets a shield at the start of the battle. Pegasus Seiya going to B tier. Not much to this guy, you can rank him up really easy, so you can use him like right at the beginning of the game. Ares Mu going to triple S tier. Best support in the game. Heals allies, cleanses them by removing debuffs, increases allies attack, decreases enemies attack, shields allies, and he can also deal some damage. So you're definitely going to want this guy on your team. Pisces Aphrodite going to SS tier. Most of their skills poison enemies, plus they can debuff them to increase poison damage they receive from other people as well. They deal true damage based on poison stacks and can also buff lifesteal for themselves and 2 other allies. Pope Ares. A lot of people rank him lower. I think he's SS tier because he's got some utility from like banishing enemies. He can deflect them or defect them, making them attack allies, which is awesome. And he also has a couple summons, and he also buffs all allies summons attack. So if you have other summons on your team, they're going to be doing more damage. Unicorn Jabu, F tier. Andromeda Shun, I'm actually going to put an S tier. Buffs 3 allies damage by a ton, heals all allies, and also binds enemies, so a bit of an all-arounder. Perseus Algol, I'm going to put an S tier as well. He petrifies enemies a lot, which is basically a stun, so he can kind of help control the fight, keep everybody stunned. Saori Kido, going to triple S tier obviously. She's a free unit as well as the best SR in the game. She's straight support that has a single target and triple target healing skills, 2 different attack buffs, and even a revive. There's really no reason not to have her in your team. Sagita Ptolemy? Yeah. He can reduce enemies healing received, reduce 2 enemies dodge rate, and turn invisible. Dragon Shiryu's F tier. Guilty? Back of S, top of A. I think maybe top of A. He deals true damage and applies burns and can actually double his attack speed for a bit as well. Yeah, A tier is good for him because he doesn't have really much utility. Eagle Marin is going to A tier. Low chance to stun enemies, but can also knock them down. Bear Geki going to B tier. He can down enemies and also stun them. Then we got some guys going to F tier. We got Black Dragon, Black Pegasus, Cassius, Hydra Ichi, Hound Asterion, I'm going to put in B tier. He summons clones of himself that buff his final damage, and he can reduce enemy hit rate as well. Black Andromeda going to F tier. Kiki, I'm going to put in B tier. He buffs allies crit rate, shields one ally, and reduces enemy P and M defense. Probably ahead of Hound. Ficus, maybe around the back of A. She applies poisons that decrease healing received, which is like the main draw, and she has some extra dodge as well. Black Phoenix going to A tier. He applies tons of burns, which also buff his attack. Crow is going to B tier. He summons crows, obviously. He can become invincible, and he gives himself super armor as well. Black Swan, near the back end of A, he can freeze enemies and also lower their attack speed. Cygnus also the same, right there. He can also freeze enemies, which is like basically a stun, right? Embodiment of Evil, probably behind Ares Mu. Ares Mu. He's the best damage dealer in the game currently, especially since he deals both physical and mental damage, so he can get around resistances and other people's skills. He can also stun and banish enemies, as well as getting a huge attack speed buff with his Frenzied State. Virgo Shaka's up next. Probably right there. He's got good damage and sustain, plus some utility as well. He deals double to triple damage to non-saint units, which is just wild. Depends on the skill that he uses. He also heals and cleanses debuffs for himself and an ally, as well as gives himself a shield that is immune to skill damage and effects. Plus he has an AoE heal, just a great all-around unit. Sagittarius Seiya, put at the back end of SS tier. He can change his basic attack and skills from close combat to range, depending on the situation. Like, he just swaps around his skills, basically. He deals extra damage to bosses and monsters and has some good self-sustain. So depending on where you use him, he would swap around in this row. Aquarius Camus up next. He's got a lot of utility, and he's going to be freezing enemies, which, like I said, is basically a stun. He also reduces mental damage dealt to allies and can freeze an enemy, which prevents them from being damaged. Not an enemy, an ally. Freezes an ally, prevents them from being damaged. I believe it heals them as well. And he can also reduce enemies' attack speed by a ton. Capricorn Shura, SS tier. He can silence enemies to shut down their ultimate skills, which is awesome. He can stiffen them, which interrupts their current action, and he can also parry enemies with an extra attack and become invincible, but just for a second. Sagittarius Aiolos, I'm going to put in S tier. He's a pretty decent back row damage dealer. Some of his attacks pierce and hit multiple enemies, and he gets a pretty good debuff buff with Sarukido on the same team, but he doesn't really do too much of anything, right? Got like no utility. Scorpio Milo, putting right here. Actually, probably right about there. He does more and more damage as the fight goes on and can increase damage enemies take as well. His basic attack randomly uses a different attack, and some of his other skills rely on RNG, so he's kind of inconsistent, but he does make it so all the enemies take more damage, so that's good. Death Mask, going to triple S tier. He can summon multiple undead adds, which is pretty cool. He can also buff his attack by 4% whenever non-saint units die, which can just stack over and over. Leo Iolia, going to triple S tier. Actually, Death Mask, I think not quite triple S tier. Leo is though, for sure. He's really good sustain. Some coming from the fact that he can stun enemies and the rest from his invincibility and his shields. When he hits below 40% HP, he gets a huge attack speed and lifesteal buff just to heal him back up. Plus he has some good damage from his chain lightning skill as well. Gemini Saga, triple S tier. He has some pretty good utility as well. He has knockdowns, which are basically like a stun. Same thing with his banish ability. He can also cleanse, control, and debuff effects from himself and become invincible, as well as buff his crit rate and rage regeneration, which is awesome. Cetus Moses, going to S tier. He shields himself, buffs his damage reduction, and can knock enemies down. June, going to S tier. She has an all ally heal, can shield a wounded ally, buff nearby allies' damage reduction, and even bind an enemy. Misty Lizard, S tier as well. She gives all allies a mental defense shield that also heals them, gives herself one that negates 4 instances of mental damage and can knock enemies down. And then last up, Phoenix Icky, going to S tier. He's highly mobile, can move around a lot. He has a self-revive, and you can rank him up from the 7-day training event, so you can get him a decent rank. So it's just easy to build, easy to use. So yeah, that is the complete tier list. Let me know what you think about it in the comments below. Let me know what you think of the game so far. I'm having issues. It won't let me buy anything. Anything that has a spot where I could spend any money or any paid gems is just blank and broken. So I don't know what's going on. Let me know if you're running into that issue. And yeah, I'll catch you next time. See ya.